the importance of mocking fascists, the importance of like fixating on rhetoric when it comes to like campaign trail stuff, and the ability to change people's minds being more pointing out the fact that their heroes are cringe than like delivering the argument itself. The argument is supposed to be the underlying foundation on which you build that rhetoric, you know? It's not supposed to be the rhetoric itself. But I will say this, okay? Which do you think is going triple platinum? Which do you think is getting more positive attention, okay? Someone on Twitter is being transphobic. They're calling a trans woman a man or something cringe like that, okay? And another person, a left-leaning person, quotes them. What do you think is going to get more attention, okay? A quote tweet in which they say, actually, according to a wide plurality of medical institutions, transgender women are in fact women. Gender is separate from sex. Da 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 da. Or, hey, you're a pedophile. This you? And it's a quote tweet. It's a screenshot of them from 2 years ago defending like Lolicon or whatever. What do you think's going triple platinum, folks? This you? Honestly, even quote tweeting was something like you're a weirdo freak, stop talking about other people like that. Like literally that would, we're talking by like several standard deviations of engagement here. People want the snappy response. People want narratives to feel good about. If people already agree with you, they already agree with you. If someone already agrees with what you're saying, a little dry list of, oh, you know, trans people are recognized in these medical institutions, that's not going to do anything for them. They already know that. That's just information. That's just a component of an argument that already exists in their mind. They want dunks. They want energy. Matt Walsh lost a lot of popularity when the left pointed out he's a freak. That's true, man. There's basically like a direct, every time you get this like woo of the right-wing grift cycle, the point at which things start to go downhill is when people realize that they're freaks. He a fan, you know? It happened with Crowder. It happened with Matt Walsh. The high point for Matt Walsh was right when they found all those old videos of him in the car talking about the fertility of 16-year-old girls. And after that, woo! And now how often do you hear about Matt Walsh, dude? I saw him tweet the other day. People were ratioing the out of him with images of his weird little baby plush of him as a baby with a diaper on or whatever. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. That's the end point. People are interesting until they become cringe to associate with, and then woo! Keep calling them weird, keep calling them freaks. This is not feels over reals. The reals are the foundation upon which you build the feels. You have to understand the appropriate time to employ these arguments. If somebody wants to have their mind changed, you can supply them with an incredible amount of information to support the validity of your points. When I talk about anything I make an argument about, when it comes to like the validity of trans people or racial relations or immigration or the economy or whatever else, in my head, in documents, I have arguments that I could construct, but they take time and shareability to listen to. If you're at a point where the other person's just jeering at you and throwing insults or slurs or whatever, you think they're going to sit down for an argument? You win the rhetoric game, and then you bring people back to your cool foundation, your fortress built of arguments, you know? You can do it. Would you say all conservatives are freaky? Yes. The conservative culture war talking points that are mainlining their campaign efforts right now are innately creepy. The obsession with children and sex and banning abortion and contraception and controlling your life, it's innately freaky. It's built on male insecurity and chauvinism and white supremacy and a very poor understanding of basically every social and scientific field imaginable. It's innately freaky. There is no such thing as the like super suave, intelligent conservative who manages to push all these talking points without being weird. I mean, Donald Trump is their front man. He's literally a convicted rapist and pedophile. Like, their front man was a close friend of Epstein's. That's their main guy. And I genuinely think that Kamala Harris should be working towards the big one, which is just calling him a pedophile. That's what I want. She needs to build up to that, okay? Or at the very least, like, friend of Epstein, you know, if she, because, you know, if she doesn't want to get embroiled in the you know, court shenanigans of a claimed libelous pedophile accusation, you know, you can just say factually, oh yeah, you're like in Epstein's records 57 times. There were like several testimonies against you. You were a close friend of his. You were bragging about how both of you like young girls. Sexual insecurity is the root point of fascism, Busy Mark. What about Shapiro? I talked about this last stream, but I genuinely think that Ben Shapiro is going to have a longevity. The main reason Shapiro's fallen off is because he's a Jew, and he's not the same kind of hyper-fascistic monster that a lot of the other like Daily Wire frontrunners are. The fact that the right wing is anti-Semitic is actually holding him back. Same with Dennis Prager. Well, Dennis Prager is a freak. Dennis Prager was writing articles about like raping women and how his wife shouldn't be mad that he's checking out other girls and so on. Okay. But honestly, genuinely, Ben Shapiro is one of the least freak individuals on the right wing, like pundit cycle, you know? It's, if Ben Shapiro was more fascistic, he'd probably be more of a freak. The fact that he's less fascistic and the fact that he's Jewish prevents him from like that's what's keeping him out of the inner circle right now, you know? True, but I'm not saying he's good.